Okay, so it's now time for the awards to be presented with the introductions. And the first award will be to Philip Shearer, and that will be presented by Raja Anga. Will Raja Anga and Philip Shearer please come forward?
Thank you. Well, some of us were born on the right side of the tracks. Some of us were born on the wrong side. Philip Shearer was born right on top of the tracks. His father was a station master in the Swiss village of Saxon, right on the shore of Lake Sarne, south of Lucerne. Now, how this childhood pointed him into a scientific career, I have not been able to fathom, but maybe Phil will enlighten us on this. In any case, let's fast forward to the University of Basel in 1991, where the name Shearer was added to the roster of famous precursors as students and faculty of that university founded in 1460. And they included Erasmus, Bernoulli, Paracelsus, and Nietzsche, to name a few. He worked in the lab of Gottfried Schatz on protein import into yeast mitochondria. But after he got his degree, he decided to turn to mammalian cells, and he was interested in particular in the adipocytes, the fat cells that store the surplus calories that we don't use. Now, those cells had previously been considered kind of dumb, stupid cells, a bag of lard, basically. Although they did a wonderful service to us by sparing our non-adipocytes from overload with lipids that they tolerate poorly. The fat cell could tolerate enormous amounts of lipids. And if you just look around the streets of Houston, you'll see what I mean. So this became Phil's target, and he realized immediately that Switzerland was not an ideal place to study obesity, since less than 7% of the population was overweight. So he decided to go where the adipocytes flourish, and he came to the United States. He began by taking a postdoctoral fellowship in Harvey Lodish's lab at MIT. And there he made the discovery for which he's most famous. He discovered adiponectin. You've heard him mention that earlier today. And this was a landmark discovery. It took place in the same year that Jeff Friedman at Rockefeller discovered leptin. So for the first time, the adipocytes were promoted from their status of as a bag of lard to an intelligent cell that could export proteins like leptin and adiponectin to distant tissues and regulate them, including the most exalted of our tissues, the brain with its hypothalamus. So here were the fat cells giving instruction to the cells in the brain. And the other thing that was very fascinating about the discovery of adiponectin and leptin is both those hormones had the property of increasing oxidation of fatty acids in remote tissues. And this led to lots of speculation on what their functions really were. My personal preference was that they are both scavengers, lipid scavengers, burning up lipids that get deposited where they shouldn't be, and protecting cells from lipid-induced damage. The interesting thing is that as leptin rises if you overeat and gets rid of the lipids that overnutrition may bring into the body, adiponectin does the opposite. It rises when you undereat or overexert, as if that they're getting rid of the lipids that come from lipolysis in the fat cells. In any case, this was just one of a number of seminal discoveries that Dr. Scherer did subsequently when he was at Einstein on the faculty, and more recently here in Texas on the UT Southwestern faculty. So it's a very great pleasure and honor for me to present to Dr. Scherer this year's O'Donnell Award. Where's the award?
Well, as we go along doing what we're doing in our business, you start to realize over the years that the environment is an incredibly important factor for the kind of work we do. And I have to congratulate the senior leadership at UT Southwestern for putting together an absolutely outstanding team of investigators in the area of metabolism research that really enables each one of us to do the best we can in an environment that's really amenable to outstanding research in that area. And as such, I'm privileged to be surrounded by inspirational people that there are too many to name specifically, but certainly Dr. Unger is an inspiration on a daily basis. And he looks back on an extensive and long career with many insights, and he continues to come up with wonderful new ideas on a daily basis. My colleagues, Joel Elmquist, Jay Horton, many others who really make the day-to-day operation very, very enjoyable, and we enjoy each other's company. And that's really the secret of success, I think, of an institution like UT Southwestern. Not only do they bring together people, I think, that are really good at what they're doing, they fill important niches, but they make sure that the people actually really get along with each other and enjoy each other's company, which is really the secret to success. So as such, I thank everyone over the years in my lab, many talented postdocs and many talented students that made it possible. I've always been lucky enough to surround myself with people that are smarter than myself, a secret for success, and they have contributed a great deal to our success. I also would like to thank the Touchstone family, the O'Donnell family, for all the contributions over the years that really enabled us to do what we do so well at UT Southwestern. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you, Phil and Roger. Now I'd like to ask Dr. George McClellan, the provost at Rice University, to present the award to Michael Dean.
After such wonderful remarks, I'm actually going to do something most unusual, which is to keep mine brief. What you saw about Michael in that beautiful video underscores an extraordinary thing that's happening in biology and medicine, which is those have gone from more qualitative disciplines to increasingly quantitative disciplines, where the insights of mathematics and physics increasingly matter. If you had told people a generation ago that Rice would be hiring engineers to help predict how to create de novo the best vaccines for flu, you would have been looked at sort of oddly. But that's in fact exactly the kind of thing that happens when mathematics is informed by medicine, and medicine informs the engineering and the physics that ultimately must underlie it. I am blessed at Rice to have many brilliant young colleagues. Michael is in fact the third member of his department to win this O'Donnell Award, because Rice's bioengineering department is one of the tops in the nation, and these awards are a wonderful way of underscoring that. He has a long record of accomplishment. A Caltech undergrad, also studied at Berkeley, did a postdoc at Harvard. He's won Sloan and Dreyfus Awards, which in the physical sciences are sort of the sine qua non for a young scientist. And tonight's award, I think, is a pinnacle of his relatively young life. He's only 41 years old. So it is an extraordinary pleasure for me as the new Chief Academic Officer at Rice to recognize the way in which my young colleagues at Rice can interact with our brilliant colleagues across the Texas Medical Center to do things together that none of us could do by ourselves. And with that, Michael, I would like to congratulate you and present you, I guess, with this award. Congratulations. And ask you to say a few words.
Well, thanks for that introduction. I really appreciate your coming here today. Again, I'd like to thank the organization of TAMEST. It's a great thing that you're doing for Texas, is helping all the young scientists and engineers in Texas to promote the state and to promote organizations in Texas, the universities that support us. I always come back to Caltech. I was an undergraduate there, and I really enjoyed my time as an undergraduate there, so I really always have to thank Caltech for getting me started. I want to thank my parents who are here tonight, as well as my wife of 16 years for their support over the years. I want to thank Rebecca Richards-Cordum at Rice in my department for her support, and David Helms. I think David's here tonight. Even the undergraduates always say what a resource David is. They really enjoy talking to him. And then, finally, just thanks to you all for coming and supporting TAMEST.
Moving along, we'll ask Dr. Juan Sanchez, Vice President of Research at UT Austin, to present the award to Carl Gebhardt.
Carl. Well, it's indeed a distinct pleasure for me to introduce to you Carl, a great and most valued colleague at the University of Texas at Austin. Carl, as it was mentioned today, he's a native of Rochester. You must have seen enough snow there. Got his PhD from Rutgers University, had research professor positions at Michigan and Santa Cruz, University of California, Santa Cruz. But eventually he found his way to Texas. He joined us, the university, in 2003. And he has had an outstanding career. I mean, Carl is engaged in exploring the deepest secrets of the universe. And as you've seen in the movies, and if you attended his brilliant presentation this afternoon, despite his bright personality, he is focused on unraveling the darkest mysteries of the universe. And in doing so, it's hard for me to overemphasize that Carl is with the collective community of astrophysicists, is developing modern cosmology and bringing up to a level of development that is amazing. So again, he is focused on understanding the very origins of the universe, not only where we came from, but where we're going to be. And I can't imagine of any more interesting subject for anyone to dedicate a career to explore. So Carl, you've received many recognitions for your accomplishments. And tonight is the crown of the Texas Awards, the Edith and Peter O'Donnell Award for Science. And I want to congratulate you for doing that. And I know that there's many more coming. So congratulations, Carl.
So thank you so much. I noticed I've had my haircut since the video. I'm not sure if you noticed that. It has been coming to Texas was frightening. It has been phenomenal, and I mean it's been the best career move I've made. It's been so good. I have such strong support from my university. I want to thank our former dean, Marianne Rankin, who's in the audience. She's been a huge supporter of our dark energy experiment. Oh, there she is. And Dr. Sanchez as well. I want to do, just to call out, so David Lambert, he's the director of McDonald Observatory. I went to him about 7-8 years ago, and I said, hey, David, I got an idea for a dark energy experiment. It's going to cost about $7 million, and this would be fantastic. And about 7 years later, $36 million later, we are almost there. But you'll just never get that kind of support. It's been phenomenal. So I am so grateful. I am so humbled. When I hear the other talks, I see the unbelievable and direct impact for us as society. When I think about the stuff I do, I think, what am I, nuts? But I mean, this stuff, it is so great to do this stuff I love and to share it with everybody. And so thank you so much for this honor. It's wonderful, so thank you.
All right, well, last but not least, I'd like to ask Vinyu Mignon, Vice President of Technology Development at Texas Instruments, to present the award, Ted Moise.
It is my honor to be here to represent Texas Instruments, to present this award, the TAMEST Award to Ted Moise. A couple of things. In the video, you saw Ted's work over the last 14 years to develop this ultra-low power ferroelectric random access memory. What you perhaps don't realize is that in a couple of years, or maybe even sooner, there will be some product that you use, whether that's in an automobile you drive, or in a medical device that you use, or hopefully not, but a pacemaker that you may have to wear, or even household goods like washers and dryers and things like that. I think the technology that Ted has invented and brought to bear will be pervasive. It'll be in, today we have sold about 100 million chips with FRAMs or FRAMs, but TI is so convinced of the merits of this technology that we have now started construction of a second factory to build the chips based on this technology. So it's definitely a testimonial to the potential of the technology that TED has come up and developed. Now, on an aside, Fram, many of you may not know this, Amundsen of Norway was one of the first explorers to reach the South Pole. And the name of his ship was Fram, which in Norwegian means forward or going forward. And certainly, I think that word Fram is very relevant and appropriate for the work that Ted has done, and we definitely expect him to continue doing. And I know he has his family here, and his 2 daughters are here, and there's one attribute that Bruce alluded to of inventors and innovators that Ted has in spades, and that is stubbornness. I can remember many a time when we looked at it and said, is it ever going to make money? Are we going to ever make it profitable? But Ted definitely convinced us. And that's what I alluded to in the video, the difference between an inventor and an innovator. There's a saying that inventors turn, or some cases burn, cash into ideas, and innovators turn ideas into cash. So, Ted, congratulations, a well-deserved honor.
Thank you very much. It's been wonderful to stay very much. There are 3 groups I want to thank first. First, my family, TI, and TAMEST. As Venu mentioned, I'm fortunate enough to have my family here today. I want to thank my 2 daughters, Emily and Sydney, for their inspirational energy and enthusiasm, which keep me going, and the joy they brought to me. I want to thank my wife, Lisa, for all the years of kind of impatience that me. 7 years of dating and 19 years of marriage, so. Colleagues at TI, there's been a core group that has worked on this technology for more than a decade, including Scott Sommerfeld, Adai Kumar, Hugh McAdams, and John Rodriguez. This would not be possible without them. I accept this award with great humility, knowing it with respect to Manji, Ben McKee, Hans Stork, Yoshio Nishi, and of course Venu, for their support and guidance through the years. I think he makes a joke of the good times and bad times, but without their support, this never would have happened, so it's very much appreciated. I want to thank first Edith and Peter O'Donnell and the others who have contributed to this award. The dedication, the generosity to fund this award, and the dedication to developing science and technology and engineering within Texas. It's a great thing. As a father of 2 girls, I'm thrilled that there's an organization like TAMEST out there promoting science and education, and that has the foresight and strength and courage to make an idea into something that's real that will benefit all Texans. So again, thank you very much, and very much appreciated.
So we're coming towards the end, and I want to ask Ron DePino to come make some closing comments. Ron.
This is really an extraordinary community. I think what Senator Hutchinson and others in this community have really put together is just quite remarkable. You know, what we've seen is an extraordinary level of innovation, the courage to address some of the deepest mysteries of the universe, of the gene, of infection across populations, and to harness that energy in a way that really improves the human condition. It's really quite remarkable. I'm extremely impressed, and this community is one that I'm extremely proud to be part of. And so with that, I'd like to close this evening's ceremonies, congratulate the winners. This is, you've made us all very proud, and I look forward to many years of friendship and continued interaction throughout this really amazing community. Thank you very much.